Enseguida de en donde dice más, ahí en la opción donde vas a desactivar el audio, ahí le pones renombrar. Y ahí es donde cambias el nombre. Okay, I'm making it full screen. So today's topic today's topic is 7.2, the great imposter. Okay, technically we should be working with the 7.3 topic today, but since the first class we had, we didn't actually have it because it was a holiday. We didn't have class on the first Wednesday, so we had to like change the first class for the next week, and that's why we are a little late with the topics. Entonces lo que vamos a hacer es que la próxima semana que tenemos, que es para el examen de hecho, y como yo nada más los veo los miércoles, lo que vamos a hacer es que vamos a tener clase normal, sin embargo, les voy a pasar el link para que trabajen con el examen por la tarde. O sea, por la mañana sería la clase y por la tarde sería el examen, pero ya a sus tiempos, o sea, les daría tiempo para que lo realizaran, ¿ok? Para alcanzar a ver los 3 temas que corresponden al primer parcial. Okay, so we're gonna start with this topic, and as I told you, it is a 7.2, and it's called the great imposter. So that is the title of the first topic. And it says, activity 1, reading. Look at the photo. Here we have a picture, and it says of the famous imposter and the tools he used in different jobs. What do you think this man pretended to be? Okay, just by looking at the picture, if the title of the topic is the great imposter, and we have in here different items, we have a soldier cap, or I don't know if that's actually the name of it. We have one of a pilot, I think, or a captain, something like that. We have maps. This is like maps. So just by looking at the picture, what do you think this person tried to be or pretended to be? Have you heard of him? ¿Han escuchado de él?
No.
No? Okay, I don't know if you have seen the movie Catch Me If You Can. Atrápame si puedes.
Yes.
So that movie was based on this character because we know the movie is fiction. I mean, it's not real. But this character, this person we have in here, he was actually real. He was a person just as us, and he tried for many years, or he pretended to be different people. Okay, so just by looking at the pictures we have in here, what do you think he tried to be? Diana, can you tell me? Diana Blanco, what do you think he tried to be?
Maestra, ¿cómo
Yes.
lista? Es que no me dejaba entrar.
Ok, no te dejaba entrar, pero ¿qué me preguntaste primero?
Sí, ya había tomado lista.
No, la tomo ya más adelante, ya que sepa que ya entraron los que tienen que entrar.
Ok, está bien. Gracias.
Okay, so Diana, what were you saying?
I don't know, miss.
Carlos Alberto Vasquez, can you tell me what do you think this person tried to be? Just by looking at the picture.
A student.
A student, okay.
Could
you be more specific, like a student of what?
How do you say graduado? Egresado, ¿cómo se?
I couldn't hear, no puedo escuchar.
How do you say graduado?
But in what?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. To have a clear idea, to have a better idea of who this person was, let's go and read about him, okay? Give me a second to go to the next slide. Okay, here we have it, but it's a little large. Está un poco borrosa, entonces voy a irme mejor al libro, okay?
Okay.
So we're gonna read it. Here we have it. Here we have the info about this person, the grading poster, and we're gonna start reading here in the number 1. I need a volunteer, or let's see, Adrian. Adrian Paz, can you help me to read what number 1 here says? No entiendo por qué muchos de ustedes tienen la cámara
Yeah.
apagada. ¿Por qué la tienes apagada, Adrián?
Es que me voy despertando, nomás me cambio y ahí la prendo.
Okay, can you help me to read number 1, please?
Yes. Ferdinand Waldo de Mara was probably the greatest imposter in history. He was born in the USA in 1921. As a young man, he pretended to be a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, a college professor, a soldier, and a sailor. The Mara's greatest adventure was during the Korean War.
Thank you. Okay, so this character, this person was born in 1921, and when he was young, some of the occupations he pretended or he made use of was like being a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, a college professor, a soldier, and a sailor. Okay, so from these different occupations I have in here, do you have any question about the meaning of one of them? So I'm pretty sure you won't have any trouble knowing what a doctor is. An engineer, do you know what an engineer is?
Un ingeniero.
Ingeniero,
Okay, what about a lawyer?
abogado,
Abogado.
Okay, college professor, well, it's a teacher, but it's like from the highest level, from
Universidad.
university. Soldier and a sailor. What is a soldier?
soldado,
Soldado.
Okay, and a sailor? Not
marinero,
Sailor Moon, just sailor.
marinero.
Okay, very good. So vamos, entonces aquí dice that the Mars greatest adventure, o sea, su aventura más grande fue durante la Guerra de Corea. Okay, so here we have a question. What did he do? And we have options. He pretended to be a doctor on a ship. He worked for the Korean government. And he pretended to be a politician. What do you think, guys? ¿Cuál de estas 3 opciones creen que sea la correcta?
A.
A, B, or C?
A.
I think it's A.
B?
A.
A. Okay, so let's go and read it. Victor, can you help me to read? It says read 6 to find out. Let's go then to number 6. So help me, Victor, here, number 6.
In 1951, the Mara pretended to be Dr. Joseph Christ, a real doctor, so that he could work on a ship. The soldier loved him. He cured their illnesses. He pulled our bad debt, and he performed difficult operations. He that it is his greatest moments after a soldier was shot?
Okay, very good. So in 1951, how old was him in 1951? Do you remember? Do you remember his birth date?
Oh no.
He was born in 1921. So by 1951, the age of 30, he pretended to be a real doctor. So he stole, just to call it like that, he borrowed the name of this real doctor, Joseph Sir. So it says that he worked during that time. He pretended to be another person, Joseph. He worked on a ship. Trabajó en un barco, and this ship was with soldiers. It was during the Korean War. Fue durante la Guerra de Corea. So the soldiers were like excited, fascinated. They were very happy with this doctor because he actually cured their illnesses. O sea, a pesar de que no era en realidad un doctor, he cured them. He pulled about teeth and he performed difficult operations. O sea, a pesar de todo, aún así, digamos, pues sacó la chamba, ¿no? Se puso a trabajar como doctor. O sea, sí los curó. He had his greatest moments after a soldier was shot. So he also treated them with these type of situations when they were shot. Okay, so what did he do? We have then, and then yes, someone told me that letter A was the answer, and yes, you are correct. It was letter A. He pretended to be a doctor. Okay, so what did he do? Then we have another question. He jumped into the ocean and have the soldier. He pretended to be the dead soldier, or he performed an operation that saved the soldier's life. Okay, so what do you think, guys? Because here it says he had the greatest moments after a soldier was shot. So based on that sentence, basándonos en esa última oración, what do you think he did for saving this soldier's life? A, B, or C?
Letter B.
Letter B,
Letter
he pretended to be the dead soldier. Okay, so let's figure it out. Let's go to number 3. Here it is. Okay, Adilene, can you help me to read number 3, please?
Number three. The bullet was very close to the soldier. Here, Demara studied from a book so that he could save the man's life. He removed the bullet and the soldier lived. In fact, lived. Thanks. While Demara worked as a doctor, none of his patients died, but in the end, he became too
Successful. Successful.
No sé.
Successful.
Successful.
Thank you. Okay, so it wasn't letter B. Someone said that it was letter B, but it wasn't. Actually, he performed an operation to save the soldier's life. So what did he get to know this? I mean, how did he know what to do? How did he know how to heal this person? Well, just by reading. So then, guys, reading helps. It actually works, okay? So by reading a book, he could be a doctor, not like a professional one, but he could act as a doctor. So it means, guys, that maybe if you are a Grey's Anatomy fan, maybe you can improvise or something like that. If he could, maybe you can. Okay, now let's go here with the question. And it says, what happened? Okay, so what happened next? It says in here that at the end, that he saved this person's life. But in the end, he became too successful. Okay, so what happened? He appeared on TV and his friends recognized him, letter A. Letter B, his photo and false name appeared in a newspaper. Or letter C, he became a movie star. What do you think is the correct option?
B.
Letter B.
B, his photo and false name appeared in a newspaper. Okay, so let's go then to
Yes.
number 5 to find out. Okay, so Edna, can you help me to read number 5, please?
Yes. The Mara became famous because of his great work as the ship's doctor, and his photo appeared in some newspaper in Canada. The mother of the real Dr. Sears saw the photo. She knew this was not her son. So she told the police and they arrested him.
Okay, very good. So yes, you were right, guys. His photo and false name was on a newspaper. So the mother of the real doctor saw the information and said, no, this is not my son. So that's why she went to the police and they arrested Damara. What happened next? Okay, so letter A, he went to prison. B, he didn't go to prison. And C, he escaped to Europe. What do you think?
Sí.
Letter
Sí.
C.
C?
Sí.
Okay, let's go and see what happens. Okay, so number 4. Nayeli, can you help me to read, please?
The Mara didn't go to prison because people thought he was a hero. Instead, the police released him and gave him extra money to say thank you for his great work. But later, the police arrested him for a different crime.
Thank you. Okay, so it says in here that he actually didn't go to prison, but well, he didn't go to prison, and people were actually thankful because of what he did. Because even though he wasn't a doctor, he was doing a very good job. So they actually, it says in here, they gave them extra money for his job, for whatever he did, trying to be a doctor, right? So it says later, I mean, not for that reason, not for pretending being a doctor, for another reason, the police arrested him for a different crime. So what did he do? What was the reason? Letter A, he robbed a bank. B, he pretended to be a policeman. Or C, he pretended to be a teacher. What do you think?
A.
He robbed a bank?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go and see. Jose Daniel. Jose Daniel, can you help me to go and read number 2?
I think it's letter C.
Letter C, what was letter C? He pretended to be a teacher. Okay, so let's read to know more. Jose Daniel is not there, I think. Okay, Ramon, can you help me?
Sí. The Mara pretends to be a teacher, and the police, ¿cómo se dice? Caught him. He spent 6 months in prison. After this, he played one more role. He appeared in a 1960 movie to make some money. acting as a doctor, but the real fame arrived in 1961 when Hollywood made a movie of Mara's life.
Okay, so I don't know who answered, but someone said that the option was letter C. He pretended to be a teacher, and that is the correct answer. So he pretended to be a teacher, and that's when the police got him in jail. So he spent 6 months only. I think it's not that much time. And after that, he pretended to be an actor. But well, this time I think people knew he wasn't a real actor, but he was an actor for that movie. And he was acting as a doctor. And it says in here that in 1961, let me check something, 10 years after he pretended to be a doctor, Hollywood made a movie of Mara's life. I'm not sure about what this movie is it's about. Well, it says that it's about Mara's life, but I'm not sure about exactly what is it about, and I don't actually know the name of it. But it could be interesting to take a look and actually try to see the movie. But as I told you at the beginning, Catch Me If You Can is a movie based on this character. I mean, not in his life, but just they kind of borrowed the story. Okay, so then, well, we already did that. And it says, as you read, stop at each question and with a partner get the answer. Well, we already did it. So now we're gonna discuss these questions. Let's find out, let's try to give these questions an answer. So why do you think, what was the reason, why do you think the Mara did these things? Okay, so why do you think he pretended to be different people? Why do you think he pretended to work as different professionals? Does anybody have an idea? Or who can tell
Maybe,
me?
maybe because he want attention or make more money. I don't know. I think it's that points.
Like he pretended, like he liked to be the center of attention, and that's why he pretended to be these different people.
Maybe.
Okay, thank you, Leslie. Does anybody have a different opinion? Okay, he was looking for attention is one of the answers that could be one of the reasons. Okay, so does anybody have another reason?
Maybe for social acceptation.
Okay, he wanted to be accepted, which is kind of similar to the one that Leslie said, but maybe the difference could be that in the first one, he didn't want to be accepted. He didn't want to be accepted. He just wanted the attention. But you're saying that it could be also because he wanted to be accepted, right? Maybe he wasn't happy with his real life. Okay, one more opinion for the question one.
Maybe for hobby.
Money or hobby? What did you say?
Hobby.
I couldn't understand.
Hobby.
Can you repeat, Ramon, please?
Hobby.
Hobby. Okay. For hobby, could be. What I think, that is what I think, right? It's not that it's the correct answer or something like that. What I think is that maybe he wanted to be these people. I mean, he really wanted to be a doctor. He really wanted to be a teacher and that. But you know that it's not easy to work with all these professions. I mean, you have to choose one, or at least try to, or first study for one and then for the other, and like that. I mean, you can take all of them at the same time. So maybe he liked to experiment, and that's why he pretended to be all of these characters very close to each other, because he started in 1951, I guess, but he never stopped. He just continued. He finished with one and then he went to another, and like that. I mean, he never stopped until I think that success came with Hollywood, right? Number two. Okay, so this is a different question. Do you think he was a good man? And if you say yes or no, please explain, okay? So do you think he was a good man? What do you think? Leslie?
Yes, I think he was a good man because from some part of them he tried to help people, like the soldier. So I think he was very intelligent to pretend to be someone else, but he helped at the end. So I
Okay,
think
thank you. I kind of agree with you. So I think that your answer is very well supported. Okay, does anybody have another opinion? Or is there someone in here who consider he was a bad person?
I think he was a good man because he didn't have like a bad intention in hurting someone. He
Okay,
wanted
that is actually
to
good.
help.
I mean, he didn't have bad intentions, right? Everything he did was trying or pretending to be as much professional as he could, right? He actually made people believe he was that a person. I mean, they actually thought he was a doctor. They actually thought he was a teacher. So it means that even though he was lying and he was pretending to be someone else, he was doing a good job, right? But do I have in here someone who thinks that he wasn't a good person? I mean, someone who thinks that he was the opposite, he was bad? No, everybody thinks he was good.
Yeah, because he tried to help.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, some other, like from the other group of For Clever 2, because we also read this, there were people saying that he was bad because he couldn't risk people. But the arguments you're giving me, I kind of agree more with you, because I think that he did the best he could, even though, yes, it was true, he was putting in risk these people, because maybe you can, and it's kind of interesting, because he could help people just by reading medicine books. I think he was talented. I think he was talented because he could do it. I mean, I'm pretty sure that if I read a book of medicine, I'm not gonna be able to help people. So maybe he could be a good doctor. I mean, if he studied this career, he could be a good professionist, a good doctor, like a real doctor. Okay, so number 3. Do you think people like Damara should be punished? Okay, knowing the things he did, and even though we all agree he was good because he helped people, do you think that people like Damara should be punished? And why?
Yes,
Okay, why, Carolina?
because he didn't have bad intentions. He didn't have bad intentions, but it's a risk for the society because nobody can prove that he can do the things. For example, to be a doctor, he doesn't have the title.
Okay, very good. I think Leslie also activated her microphone. Leslie, did you want to say something?
oh I think maybe or like in the movie they used to work to the police because it was a very intelligent person. He can't I don't know, search people. He helped. So if that kind of people can help instead of being punished, I think it's better. So that's my opinion about
Yeah, I mean,
that
it's
kind of
good.
persons.
These are just opinions where we don't have like correct or incorrect answers. But I agree with you. So in general, guys, think about this situation, but in the present time, like in our now in 2020, let's say that you are watching TV or you are, I don't know, checking news or whatever, and then you see that there's someone who pretended to be someone else. Let's say that, I don't know, a doctor with a pandemic we have today. Let's say that someone pretended to be a doctor or something like that. What would be your first impression? What would you think about this person? Because we might think these things because these are in the past and we already read about them. But let's say let's take that situation to the present. You read that someone now is pretended to be someone else, especially a doctor. What would be your thoughts?
That it's a bad idea.
That it's a bad idea, yeah, especially because of the
Yeah.
pandemic, right? But well,
Yeah.
how will you feel? How will you feel if you know that, let's imagine that you actually go to the doctor, this doctor gives you a prescription and explains you what you have and checks you and whatever, and then you find out that this doctor you were with wasn't a doctor. What would you think? What would you think about that situation?
I'll die. I don't know.
How would you
Maybe
feel?
bad about the situation because maybe he didn't know too much about the symptoms that one person could be. So I think at this moment, it's a bad idea. So
Yes, it is definitely a bad idea. I agree with you.
and it's, I don't know.
And actually, guys, it's more common than we think, because I'm pretty sure, probably not at this level, probablemente no al nivel que lo hizo de Mara, but there's always people lying about what they do. For example, when you apply for a job and you don't have experience, there's many people lying, saying that they work in other places, or that they used to be working. They used to be working on I don't know, in different occupations and jobs and that, which is not true. Or when you go to a drugstore, when you go to a pharmacy, the people who's actually working there, sometimes they give you prescriptions without not being doctors. Or doctors, sometimes they don't know about what you have and they give you prescriptions too, which is also a risk. I mean, there's always people lying everywhere. We have less than a minute, which is obviously not enough to continue with the topic. I'm gonna send you another link for the next video call, okay? See you in hopefully less than 2 minutes.